Wasn't that a nice long nap? Anyway, what have I missed? Baldur's Gate 1 Game of the Year, it's 2024, Starfield release, and they made a film by the guy who sits on the rock. Anyway, real talk. About 6 months ago, I made a video about this small indie game called Battlebit, and I thought we should check it out again since surely it's dead. In 2024, this game is still kicking, and still kicking DICE's motherfucking ass. 6 months later, this game is still the golden child of large-scale combat games, and its innovation and core gameplay still to this day is an example to DICE and EA on how to do a Battlefield right. Since my last video, this game has gotten much, much larger, and of course not in raw storage size, looking at you three, but in content. So what's changed, and what hasn't changed for the better or for the worse? Also, quick thing, this? More. I need more. A lot of the core gameplay has remained consistent, and actually for the better. The class system is still working like a charm, with the assault class being your ADHD run and gun class. The medic is still Jesus Christ, considering how he can somehow watch you get smacked in the cranium with a tank shell, and watch your blood, guts, flesh, and bone are sent flying like confetti, scarring him for life, and causing him to never be able to integrate into society, and forcing him to lose his family, return to Bandage. Support class is your tank class. You put on a set of armour clearly made out of raw tungsten as you move at about 1 mile per hour, but are provided with a gun with enough ammunition to turn any enemy on D into a smear of blood on the floor. Then you have Engineer class, who's like Medic, but for vehicles. Oh, and he also has the... Finally, we have the... Where'd he go? Oh. Yep, the Recon class. With this class, you become a whole new species of life. Your new goal is to sit on your side of the map and watch as the game turns into a point-and-click adventure game. Truly astonishing gameplay. Another thing that hasn't changed since my first video is the community. I mentioned how the lower graphics generate a non-serious and non-toxic community, and I stand corrected as the community is still pretty chill.
I love being into this many men.
Damn, you know it's time outside of the
Since my last video, a surprising amount has changed while keeping the game feeling pretty much the same since last played. Firstly, there's 3 new maps: Outskirts, Zalfa Bay, and Kodiak, which are all pretty cool, and in 6 months is actually pretty good as the amount of thought and effort that has to go into not only make these maps look good, but function properly with all the different styles, and also all the game modes, which has increased an incredible amount since release. The game launched with Conquest, Domination, Rush, and Frontline, and as of now, has 19 game modes in total, which is incredible considering the game just released 6 months ago. For example, Halo Infinite has only 16, a whopping 2 years after releasing. But other than that, there's 2 big huge features the devs have been working on since release. Firstly, Community Server Browser. If I was a game developer, this would be the very first thing I'd add, because it maximizes content while minimizing dev work. Games like SCP Secret Laboratory and Unturned thrive on the server browser, as it allows the community to create plugins and customize servers. And I'm very happy that Battlebit has tackled this so early after release. Now, the devs can just sit back and work on actual new content without having to run and manage hundreds of servers. The community server browser has also made room for unique game servers. Now you can play Conquest or Domination 24/7, and some servers have disabled nightmares, and some have gone the extra mile to create hardcore modes. All we need to do now is wait for more servers with unique features to pop up. This can either make or break a game, as what's the point of having 46 weapons if just one dominates in all situations? In my first video, I mentioned that the balance was pretty wacky, as the Vector completely dominated, as you just see people sprinting about like an autistic child on crack before dropping to the floor and filling your balls with nothing but raw lead. But since then, the devs have taken a 180 on the traditional way of dealing with balance, and in true Chad fashion, the devs didn't just nerf the Vector into the Shadow Realm, they actually left it alone. The devs have taken a stance on balancing by just making all the other guns stronger, which is completely unexpected, as it's actually become a meme in the gaming community that when an overpowered feature exists, the devs blast it into obscurity.
No, I don't need to trip out on no acid. My booze don't need nobody. Whoa, whoa. Here I come. Oh, here I come.
Nerf this.
Surprisingly, the list of negatives for this game is quite small. My only complaint in the original video was the sound design being real 50-50. The game's sound design is decent for an indie game, but the devs somehow made the Vector and PP2000 sound like killing machines, but the snipers still sound like wet farts. Anyway, I know that within time the devs will come to it, but quite frankly, there isn't that much bad at the beginning that hasn't changed, so I'm kind of just being nitpicky. As well, the community is still pretty split on night maps, and we really need a night maps only server considering there's day only servers, but no night only servers, so please, could someone work on that? Again, very few negatives, but my complaint this time is actually the main menu music. It just sounds so dull for such an intense game. I know some people jam to this, but it seriously sounds like the Plague Inc. music. Just make it slap harder, because if you compare it to the music that Battlebit's inspirations have, then you see a clear disparity. As well, this is obviously something for a bit later, but making a separate theme for defeat because it just sounds way too happy for the amount of lives and ammunition you've lost. And finally, this is just something for me, but in Halo Infinite, there's the last minute or two where a track begins to play to hype up the ending, and if that was in Battlebit, holy crap, that would be insane, so please add that, guys. Another small complaint is just the support class. This game's TTK is way too fast for them to be able to resist a sniper shot to the head. And with how fast their rifles shoot, and with how much ammo they have, and the ability to heal with bandages rather than just the medic, it becomes a bit much, with the only debuff really being a very slightly slower run. Just making their armor a tiny bit weaker and slower probably alleviate this issue, but I'm not a game developer, so make some suggestions in the comments. But I think Battlebit in 2024 is still a very solid game, and it's going to do nothing but get even bigger. Do I still think this game was a competitor to Battlefield? Maybe not in numbers, but it shined a light in DICE's face, and hopefully made them think just a little on how to make a good Battlefield. Anyway, stop whining about night maps, get on Whack-A-Stan and live your new life as a sniper slug, and thanks for watching.